Hello everyone. Today we are going to be cooking up some garden produce. It's important that you either preserve it or cook it up and eat it. You don't want it to go bad, or give it away. Give it to your neighbors, your friends. If you have a garden, try not to waste any of that. Let's make good use of what we have that is fresh and cook up some delicious food. We are cooking up a stir fry using all garden vegetables except for the bell pepper. We didn't get any in the garden. It hasn't produced yet. We have the green beans and the okra, the red onion and garlic, and a little bit of basil. And we'll be using avocado oil as a healthy plant-based fat for our stir fry. I just think it's best to wash your vegetables before you use them, but I don't wash them until I go to use them. I want to keep these onion slices fairly large as possible, but this is a small onion for the stir fry. I've already got my basil chopped. We're not using very much. Some of these cloves are really small and hard to peel. For this dish, we are not going to smash the garlic to extract the flavors. We want to keep the flavors of the other vegetables also. I'm just going to cut off the ends and the bad spots. You can use a sharper knife if you like, but I just happen to have this little paring knife. I'm doing it this way now. You can cut all the ends if you even them out, if you line them up. Yeah, so that was faster. This is the best way to stir fry food, with the hot oil and the onion and the garlic, and then it just flavors whatever vegetables you put into it with just a little bit of salt and pepper to pull everything together. As it turns out, I should have cooked the green beans before the peppers and cooked them for a while, because the green beans are taking a lot longer to cook than I thought. So you could blanch them ahead of time, then it will be a much shorter process when stir frying. Here we added some water to the soy sauce and a lid to trap in the steam. Time to prepare the protein to go along with it, which is salmon. Salmon is super healthy and fast to cook on the skillet, that's for sure. Just a few minutes on each side. Since I put extra olive oil in the pan, might as well put some on top of the fish before I add the dill and plate this. And what we're going to do here, we're going to put the salmon on top of the vegetables. And I also have some squash that I cooked previously instead of using rice. And this will be a low-carb dish. And here we are processing tomatoes to make salsa. Actually, I have more tomatoes than what I need to make that, so we're going to freeze some of the tomatoes after we puree it. This food processor, purchased it 7 years ago. I use it all the time. It's wonderful for pureeing and chopping and blending vegetables, fruits, and pastries. This is going to be a chunky salsa, so I don't need to process it too much, but just a little bit more. This made a beautiful sauce, and I'm going to use quite a bit of this for salsa, but we're still going to have over half of it in the container to store in the freezer. Salsa is very fun and easy to make. We don't use hot peppers in it. We're using garlic, and that's going to make it hot enough. That's orange bell pepper, and I have some cilantro from the garden. Garlic is extremely healthy and a wonderful antioxidant. I'm glad I didn't put hot peppers in there. I think the garlic is hot enough. That is really fresh and delicious. Just going to put a little more salt to bring all the flavors together. This is extremely healthy and would be great at cookouts to just serve this fresh. And this is all garden ingredients except for the pepper. Now the orange pepper was purchased from Aldi because our peppers didn't grow this year. And I don't think they're going to make it. They were rained out. I'm going to try another one after I added the salt and mixed it together. Fresh salsa from the garden. Absolutely delicious. Very healthy. Here we have 2 cups of rhubarb to make green rhubarb cookie bars. We add a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and a tablespoon of lime juice. It calls for lemon, but I'm using lime juice because that's what we have. Then you just mix everything up here together, and this will go on top of the shortbread crust. Now, I have always created my cookie dough by hand, but this time I'm using the food processor. We have butter, sugar, and flour we're going to mix up here. You just pulse it, break it up this way. So now I'm going to put it in the bowl and see if it broke up the pieces of butter. And I believe it did. So I returned it to the bowl and it came together very nicely. Then you just press down the dough into the baking sheet, just like you would a cobbler or a pie. Then place your rhubarb over your cookie dough. Now, instead of putting that crust, that other layer of shortbread dough on top of this, I'm going to save this. I'll probably put it in the freezer or refrigerator and store it for another time, for another dessert. I'm just making one layer for this. So for the topping, I'm smashing up pistachios with the back of a coffee mug. Sprinkle these on. So this is the dessert that I've been looking forward to. I made this one time before, but I used, I think a graham cracker crust. I just sprinkled some graham crackers on top. And this time I chose to do the pistachios. Bake in a preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 35 to 45 minutes. And here we have green rhubarb cookie bars with a pistachio topping. This is very tangy and delicious. It doesn't have to be red to be delicious, but you can add strawberries if you like to make it sweeter. Now we are shredding fresh zucchini to make zucchini bread and zucchini brownies. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to grate into the measuring cup. Most of it's going to go in here. Some of it's going to fly onto the plate. I'll just pick that up and put it in the measuring cup. I'm right-handed, so I needed to change the camera around to be more comfortable. And you just kind of lean against this, and it's not so bad. Yeah, the other way, no. With the left hand, it was not working. This is how much we yielded from those 2 medium-sized zucchinis. We yielded 4 cups. 4 cups of shredded zucchini, making 2 desserts, brownies and zucchini bread. Each recipe calls for 2 cups, so this works out perfect. It's cooler out now. It's only 52 degrees. I got the windows open, enjoying this weather. Early morning, we're going to do some baking. First, we are making the zucchini bread. This calls for quite a bit of ingredients, but it is well worth it. Putting all these ingredients together. The dry ingredients are over here. That's just flour and your leavenings and cinnamon. Then you have your wet ingredients along with the sugar in a separate bowl. And then the additives, the zucchini and the walnuts. And I already have the bread pans sprayed with nonstick cooking spray. And we have the oven set at 325 Fahrenheit. I normally sift the flour and dry ingredients together. I didn't need to do it. This flour is super fine and there's no lumps whatsoever. Just use your discretion. This was a new bag that I opened. It's Great Value brand flour, and it's good flour. Yeah, so I think we're fine here. Very fine. Okay, and then we have the wet ingredients. You can use a blender if you like. I'm just going to whisk the wet ingredients together. That's the vanilla and egg added to the sugar. And oil. We're using avocado oil for this. I want to make it very healthy. I'm going to mix everything together into one bowl. It's going to fold in the zucchini and the nuts. I think I need a bigger bowl. What do you think? I think I'm fine. I'll just have to make it work. So we'll just combine it very carefully here. Bake in a preheated oven at 325 Fahrenheit for 40 to 60 minutes. Our zucchini bread is done, looking good, and we'll be freezing whatever we don't eat within a few days. Now we are going to make zucchini brownies. This is very easy. It doesn't even call for eggs. I already mixed the flour and sugar and baking soda and salt together here in a large bowl. And I've got everything measured out here. We're using Hershey's Cocoa, and I'll go ahead and add that. So we'll finish out the dry ingredients. Mix that together very well. And then we add the oil. And the vanilla. And the nuts. And last but most importantly, the zucchini. That's what makes this a garden fresh dessert. And we'll mix that together very well, and then we'll add it to the sprayed pan over here. And this may seem dry at first, but the zucchini will provide moisture, plenty of moisture. In fact, if your zucchini has a lot of water, you should probably wring it out with a clean dish towel. That's what I usually do, but this did not have that much moisture. So normally your zucchini's fine for brownies without having to remove the moisture. And then we just spread them into the pan, and this is super easy. Bake in a preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes. And the brownies are done. It's just a tradition. Since I've been making these, I've always put sprinkles on them. Now I'm going to cook up some fresh ground turkey. I'm going to create 2 meals from this. One meal will be tostada bowls, and the other meal will be cabbage rolls, which will be cooked tomorrow, and you'll see it in an upcoming video. So we divvied some out. This is quite a bit here for the cabbage rolls. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. We'll just basically be heating this up. In place of lettuce, we're using cabbage because that's what we have available in the garden. So what I'm getting my toppings together, and this is shredded cucumber here. So now we've got some cabbage for a topping. And I've got some beautiful Roma tomatoes. And we've got some onion, some red onion. And we've got some Colby cheese. I'm just going to use a small section of this. Believe it or not, we don't use a whole lot of cheese with our salads because you got a mixture of so many different things. You don't need a whole lot of cheese. I'm just going to cut this up very finely. Just going to do a little differently this time. So this is almost like a cheese crumble. I've got 2 tostada bowls in the oven. We'll heat this up for 5 to 7 minutes. We have some chili beans we're going to be putting down at the bottom. What we did was we drained the chili beans. And we're heating up the meat along with the chili beans. The shells and the toppings are ready, and I made smoothies with cucumber, puree, and raspberries. The beans on the bottom, and then the meat. Loaded with toppings and homemade salsa on the side. Thanks for watching today. As you can see, we have plenty more garden produce to cook up. And if you have garden produce from the grocery store, don't let that go bad either. Cook up some delicious food and save money. God bless each and every one of you. Good Lord willing, I'll see you on the next one.